All right, I'm going to show you how to put cubes and cube roots in your calculator. If this is not the calculator you have, fast forward. I'm going to do 2 others. If I don't cover your calculator at all, just message me with a picture of it and I can update you on how to do cubes and cube roots. So cubes are pretty similar to exponents. You put them in the exact same way, but I will show you again, and I'll use a negative example just to make sure you're all clear on how to put those in the right way. So if you see a parenthesis with a negative number inside, you need to put those parentheses. So your first goal is going to put your parenthesis, the 3, the negative sign, and then the other parenthesis. Now to raise it to the 3rd power, I'm going to change colors just so it's more clear. You are going to press this YX button. It's Y raised to the X power, and then the 3 again to raise it all to the next power. So you type the number first and then raise it to the 3rd power. And that is how you put that in your calculator. If you did it all correctly, you should get -27. Cube roots are pretty similar, but you have one extra step. All right, so an example of a cube root would be, one second, the cube root of 64. So to put that in your calculator, you would put the number first, 64, and then we're going to be using that same Y to the X button, but before we do, we're going to press second, and then that, and that's going to let you pick what your root power is. So it's a cube root, so you pick 3 after that button. So before we could use this button because it was just a square root, but since we're dealing with cube root, we have to specify the number that is outside of here. If you do that correctly, you should get 4. And that is it for this calculator. If you have any questions or that didn't work for you, just message me and I can help you. All right, I'm going to show you how to put cubes and cube roots into this calculator. So if we had -3 raised to the 3rd power, this is pretty similar to how we put in exponents. I think it was last week. So same idea, but now just make sure you put in the negative correctly. So make sure you put in the parenthesis, the negative, the 3, and the parenthesis. Then you're going to use the same exponent button we used last week, which is this little arrow. And then to raise it to the 3rd power, you'll press 3 again. If you did that all correctly, you should have gotten -27. That is it for that. Cube roots are pretty similar. There's just one extra step. So you have to do the cube root of 64. It's supposed to be a 3 on the outside. We can't use this button because that's specifically a square root. It doesn't have a 3 on the outside. To tell the calculator what number we want on the outside, we have to press second, the little arrow button, and then the 3, and then the 64. More than likely, you might need parentheses around the 64 just to make sure everything is good. If you did that correctly, you should get the answer 4. That is it for this calculator. Let me know if you have any questions and I can help you out. If you have a different calculator, I'm going to do one more of these. If that doesn't help you, then just send me a message and I can help you. All right, to put this in your calculator on this calculator, you would press the parentheses, the negative, and the 3. So make sure the base is exactly how you see it. If you see parentheses, put parentheses. To put the raised to the 3rd power, you're going to press this arrow button and then the 3 again. So that's how you put exponents in, specifically cubes. You're always going to press that and then the 3 for the cube numbers. All right, and then for cube rooting a number, it's pretty similar. So if we have to do the cube root of 64, you would press second and that same button that we pressed before, that arrow button. And that's going to let you pick what root you're doing. So you're going to pick that 3. And then you're going to want to put in parentheses 64. And then enter. And that's how you put in your cube roots. If you did it correctly, you should get the answer 4. For the last one, you should have gotten negative 27. You get different answers when you do these. Please message me and I can help you figure out how to put them in your calculator.